So I think,
Yes.
how do I phrase this? Because I actually think Visions is my favorite thing that Star Wars Disney has done. Have I loved
That's
every
great.
single episode?
I love Visions.
No.
Same.
I haven't necessarily loved every episode, but I felt like that is one thing that George Lucas never would have done. And I know he respects all those things, but I think that was something that happened only because it was now like a bigger organization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can try new things.
Yeah.
And so I felt like Visions was, because I know there's people out there that don't like it.
Yeah.
And that's fine because
Yeah.
it feels different and it is different. And so it's a little bit, to me, of that little middle finger up to, no, this is what we're going to do because we think it's rad.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, even like the sequels to, we mentioned something earlier. Like I wasn't shocked that we didn't get what we expected because I'm an OT kid and I saw the prequels. It was like not at all what we thought we were going to get. So I was expecting, I wish it was more different. Personally, I wish it was more a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a dream world, in a perfect dream world, George would have made 7, 8, 9 and then sold it and said, nope, this is how I'm going to go out because I know
his micro.
I want to
biotic.
I want to end this the way. I want to end this the way I want to end it, and then you can have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't happen. That's fine. But Visions, I think, was just very different, and I do not care about what's canon and what's legends. Like I don't care. I am not that Star Wars person. I just want a good Star Wars. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just don't care. I love that some people are really into that stuff. That to me, like I like a lot of the books, but I'm not a Star Wars novel person for the most part, because Star Wars novels deliver a Star Wars that I'm less interested in.
Yes.
Star Wars novels get into the nitty gritty. It leans more sci-fi than what I like the movies to do. I like the bare bones. I like Star Wars being served as a skeleton, and we get to put the meat on to go back to that's what I think Star Wars is. So I think I'm so happy that those books and the video games and all those things are there for the people that are really into that. But I'm not interested personally. Like, because I just don't want my Star Wars like that. I like sci-fi. I can get knee deep in all the stuff. Like you give me like the alien stuff and I want to know all about all of those deep things. Like I like that in that world, but in Star Wars, it's too personal for me. I'm not interested in that for that reason. And that's what I think I liked about Visions, because Visions was just about the spirit of what Star Wars was to all those different people.
Mm-hmm. And
it didn't have to play into anything. And there was so much freedom in that I had so much mad respect for even the ones that weren't for me. I was like, oh my God, I got to see a Star Wars version for somebody else. It was the greatest thing. And so I hope we get more of those things. So I hope this new little thing does well enough that we get others.
Yeah.
So, all right. What is like one of your favorite things? That we've gotten so far.
Agreed. By the way, I just thought everything you said of Visions, big Visions fan. I think it's all three have delivered ones that I really love. And there's favorites that I have from each volume. The ones that, volumes 1 and 3 are all Japanese, but the international one, the second season, had so many great things. The Spy Dancer, the French one, that's like World War II cabaret, one of my favorites. F is one of my favorite characters in the Disney era from Village Bride and those, so that's been great. So if we're talking about all 10 years, the whole Kennedy era, my first thing is the first thing. Because it's not Force Awakens that started the Kennedy era. It's Rebels. Rebels is,
so many of us forget.
Yeah, Rebels is is the pinnacle for me of. And Rebels might be my favorite Star Wars if I ranked it all. I ranked the movies on their own just for the sake of ease.
Yep.
But if I had to put it all together, if it was gun to my head, it's like you can't see it all on camera because I've got a sweater on, but I have a Sabine tattoo on my arm. Like this show has been there for me in personal strife and great times and sad times. I think the characters are incredible. I think Clone Wars is really special and it'll always be special. And it was the show that wouldn't die. It had 3 endings. It had, the Lost Missions on Netflix, and then it finally gets to come back. Like that was a special thing. And it will always be the training ground. It'll always be George and Dave. and everybody else, but like that passing of the torch. But it always had the one foot in and one foot out of like, yes, Ahsoka was original, but we're also playing with icons. And then Rebels was, hey, George is gone. Like he's a phone call away, but he's gone. He's clocked out. He cashed out. He's a shareholder now. It's time to fly. And I think that was Dave and his team, Henry Gilroy, no relation, was his name. Kimberg, who's still there working on things. And Miknovitz and Athena Portillo and just everybody that's been there at Lucasfilm Animation and at ILM and all these these staples of the company that worked on Rebels, and then that incredible cast of just the best, and T.S. Carr and Vanessa Marshall and like all these incredible people created something that was intertwining with what mattered. And like we said, that you do get the iconic characters in there when needed, but it was a risk. And I remember walking through the Disney store in like whenever they started promoting that, so it had to be either like late 2013 or maybe early 14, and seeing that first like in the glass window of Disney Store art of Ezra that said like premiering this day Disney XD with his slingshot, and I looked at it and I was like, no, what is that? He's got blue hair and a slingshot. What is this? I thought they were making cool stuff. Like I got really shitty about it really quick. I was very like, and and then I watched it and I was like, this is great. Like immediately locked in on that show.
I am with you. And this is one of the things that I love about Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I always feel like, like, oh my God, I love Star Wars so much. I love Star Wars. Star Wars has served so many different things. You get to know about someone so much just based on their favorite version of Star Wars. And someone's favorite Star Wars dictates how they view all of the Star Wars, which is just, it's the greatest thing, right? But like, okay, yes, 100%. The slingshot, a little cringe.
Yeah.
Like, let's shoot Pac-Man pellets out of our lightsaber, a little cringe. But that's also what is so incredibly charming, because let's also, I mean, Return of the Jedi, my fave, right?
Yes.
Because we also have baby Wicket swinging around his rocks and knocking himself out, and also taking out stormtroopers with rocks. It's cringe. It is so campy. Also, it's so much fun, because
you have to be open
Star
to
Wars
character.
is not about reality.
Yes. You have to be open to character. Ezra is a little cringe. He's 14. Yes. He's a boy.
Yeah. Like, I get so mad. This is like Star Wars nerd crash out, right? We all have our right, whatever. Like, you should be crashing out about this. This is stupid. But when I'm like, okay, yes, Sabine got stabbed through the gut with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
When has Star Wars ever been about reality? Because yes, the Wicket, the Ewoks were knocking out stormtroopers with rocks. It isn't about the rocks. It's actually the metaphor of the little man can take down the big man with no matter what your tools are.
Yes.
It is not. Sabine survived the stab wound because it wasn't about a stab wound. Like
it's not,
that's what you know what? That's what the novels are for. In the novels, yes, that needs to make sense. 100%. In the novels,
they would have been like,
but that's why I don't want to read the novels.
Applied the Bacta, to her wound. And
yes.
And like, that's great.
Exactly.
Like, that's fine. But like, you're right.
Yeah,
like,
I
Star
love
Wars
that for you.
It's never been about how. It's always about why. And when people brought up like, oh, but how come Qui-Gon died? Because he needed
Qui-Gon needed to die.
And
because I mean, it's like Obi-Wan needed to lose his mentor so he could learn to carry the thing.
Yes.
All of it.
I always go back to something Pablo Hidalgo said forever ago when someone asked him a valid question, a question we've all asked, which is, how long exactly was Luke training on Dagobah? Because it's a funky fantasy movie, and it is, if you are, let's say you're a child and you're seeing Empire for the first time, it can confuse you, because Han, Luke, and Leia, like, they're all split, and like the Falcon crew, they're going to Bespin at sublight speed, and that's a point, right? Like, we need to get somewhere that we can get to at sublight. But then it really does feel like a Rocky movie is happening on the side of like a rigorous and like how you square those two is really up to you. And so Pablo was like, it moves at the speed of plot. That's how long. How long it takes is how long it needs to.
Okay, a lot of our listeners just assuming you're all here eagerly waiting for our little show to come back, like your life has been needing this for the last 2 years, right? Like a lot of our listeners were younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also shocked me. So thank you for young people listening to your gay dad over here, and love it. There was a time before the internet and you didn't have answers to things.
Mm-hmm.
And we've already talked about at the beginning, we need to nerd out and have a fight about stupid nerd things that don't matter. And we might actually get really mad for a hot minute, and that's fine. One of those fights is how long was he on Dagobah? Was it a few weeks? Was it a year? Was it a few months? We never knew. And you know what I don't ever want to know? How long he was on Dagobah.
Yeah.
Because who cares?
And it's also magic.
He trained.
It's magic.
Yes.
It could be.
Yes. But but that's the Star Wars I want. Again, in a novel, you know what it would have done? It would have told you how long he was there.
Or it would have
the people that read the novels
in a cool, nerdy way, like, well, on Dagobah, it's the time is dilated. So one week of normal time is actually a year of Dagobah time. Like, whatever.
Yes.
Like, and that's why one thing
I love that for those people.
One thing I like, and it's a credit to everybody that worked on all 9 of the main movies. I can only speak to the main movies because Solo and Rogue One and Clone Wars movie don't have scenes like this. But all 9 main movies, and I love this because it annoys all the right people, add something to Force lore that cannot be explained. And we've been doing this since the beginning, because in 77, the Force is exclusively a belief-based power that allows, just based on Star Wars, it allows in some way focus, we know, because that's how he, lines up the shot. Somehow people can speak to you from beyond the dead. That's basically your representation of it.
Yeah. Yeah. A ghost tells you that you can shoot that thing that's no bigger than a womp rat back at home.
Exactly. And to some degree, being able to see with your mind, but even that is not really defined. Pulling and pushing is not even until the second movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and disappearing when you die. Oh, it doesn't even have it till Empire. Then Jedi throws lightning in. Crazy. And then Phantom Menace comes around and introduces, not only does it introduce something with like speed, it also takes away, because then Qui-Gon dies and doesn't disappear. So then that confused people. And then Clones introduces the idea that Anakin can have visions when he's asleep, that he's dreaming about the future. Then Sith is, of course, Darth Plagueis and like everything else.
No, don't forget, you can now suck up lightning.
You can now absorb. That's true.
You can suck it up.
You can suck it up with a blade and with your hand. Then Revenge of the Sith is, cheat death and blah, blah, blah. Metachlorians created life, all that stuff that we know about Sith. Then 7 comes around and kind of had been done in other things, but it's the first time in movies you have Rey using psychometry, touching an object, feeling the history. 8 uses force projection, and then 9 was physical objects moving through space. And not once did Star Wars ever stop to be like, well, this is how. It's not about that. And and in the Dave era, it never will be. And thank goodness.
Rey learned all of those things because there was no Jedi around. And someone had to be able to do something.
Yes.
So you know what? The Force made it happen right quick. That's what happened. Why is it that complicated?
Yes. I get really nerdy about that in what I think is a fun way. Not everyone agrees. But I get really nerdy about that, where I think, and this is just like my like philosophical like reading of it. It's not an original thought. Other people think this too. I don't want to say my reading, but my personal reading that I hold is that the Force is somewhat sentient in that, we know it's the living force and the cosmic force, but I think much like how the One Ring in Lord of the Rings does have an agenda and wants things evilly in a dark way, the Force does want to be in balance. The Force is nudging toward light. And you're right. I think that and ironically, the only times in Star Wars when the characters really touch into the themes, the few times that the villains are correct, is when they are sussing out that they are being reacted to. Like they can identify when there is pushback. Like Snoke says a lot of lies and a lot of manipulations. The one time that he ever tells the truth is when he says, darkness rises and light to meet it. I warned you, as your power grew, so was your equal in the light. Snoke could tell we've been effing around, and now it's find out. Like it is coming back. And that's why they wanted to snuff out Skywalker. Blah, blah, blah. But I love that Star Wars like makes the argument that I think people that are like newer to it, or maybe just there is that sect of very like broy guy that just doesn't really understand it. Like, there's a misunderstanding that it's this battle between light and dark. It's not a battle between light and dark. Light is natural. It's really more so the story of light having to get fleas off. That's what it is. Like,
my interpretation
yeah,
of balance
yeah,
is being good.
yeah.
So the light side of the Force.
Yeah.
Which that was even new. Because in Return of the Jedi, there was no light side of the Force. It was the good side.
Mm-hmm.
There was the dark side, and there was the good side.
The good.
And
yeah.
I miss the good side, because to me, that informed me of what balance was by the time we got to talking about balance in the prequels. Was actually, in this world, it's just doing good. There is no dark side. Balance isn't the gray. It isn't equal balance of both. In my interpretation, it's just doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you are a balanced person when you know that you are doing the right thing. You fought off the temptations.
Yes.
And you're now choosing to do the good things. That's how we feel
and it's
balanced.
Not
it isn't, we don't feel as a balanced person of going, I'm going to equal part this.
Yes.
I'm going to do some wrong over here. I'm going to steal I'm not Robin Hood. I'm not stealing from the rich to give to the good. I don't care who you are. Stealing from the rich is still bad. For me.
And
it's
not
a
right? matter of like, be perfect all the time. Like how we tell kids, like, do your best, but like we don't add that like their best will change contextually and circumstantially.
100%.
Like,
but Star Wars gets that.
And Star Wars does get
Star
that.
Wars gets you're going to be tempted.
Star Wars is saying,
that's what the redemption is about.
Be
to me.
Good. Like, Star Wars is saying, at the end of the day, come down on good. Star Wars is not saying you won't falter.